beginning of this session, when I was talking about this comparison table, I was here on the landing page of Web of Science. I typed a search, making sure that I was in the core collection. I found some results, and then I said, what the new functionality offers is the ability to contextualize this number, the citations. And so I had sorted by highest first, and think that I chosen, any of these, we can actually look at this one, the number 3, which has 10,000 citation. And the question was, is 10,000 high or is it low? How good is it? Because when the value is an absolute value, we never know how it compares to the field or to the journal. So we opened the results. We saw that it was an article in terms of document type. It had been published in 2020 in the journal, in the quarterly journal of the Royal Meteorological Society. And so the question, we know that this is a highly cited paper because it has an icon here that comes from the journal citation report. You'll be able to see it if you have the JCR. This indicates that it's highly cited, placing it by number of citation in the top 1% of its field. However, this is where the new functionality has been added, is this comparison metric panel, which answers directly the question, how does this document citation performance compare to the peers, so to similar papers? And when we opened it, these were the numbers that I was showing you. And here in the numbers, we could see that the number of citation, of course, it's high. So the paper is in the 100 percentile in the subject area. Because the percentage of document, of the same type in the same category published in the same year, they all have less citation than this paper. But really the key numbers here are the category normalized citation impact and the journal normalized citation impact. So the number of citation that you saw here in this ERA's global reanalysis, that was over 10,000. Now that I'm benchmarking against peer journals, I see that compared to its scientific field, it has an impact that is 600 times above the average, because the average is 16.49. So you take 10,000, right? You divide it by 16.49 and you get 616. So this tells you how good the 6,000 is in relation to the field. And always remember, to the field, the year, and the same document types. So that's the context that this provides. And then underneath, it provides a context in relation to the journal. The journal here was Quarterly Journal of the Royal Meteorological Society. And I was mentioning earlier that this becomes even more interesting to review when you are looking at papers that are published in very, very prestigious journals, like the one we had before, the one you can see, Nature of Science, because with those, it's very difficult to get cited. So here we are to get cited at certain levels. So here we are contextualizing the citation based on the citation behavior of the journal for that year, for the same document type. So here again, the average for that journal, document type and same year is 53.87. So if you divide 10,000 by 53.87, you get 188. I was also showing in the review notes the release notes that I put in the chat, that if you are subscribing to the Web of Science, but you don't have insights, benchmarking, and analytics, which is a separate subscription, what you would see from this panel is the signs here. You would see if it's above average or under average, you just wouldn't see the number, but it will still help you gauge and interpret, how good 10,000, how influential having received 10,000 citations is. And I had quickly opened this on the release notes that I put in the chat. So this is the view that I just showed you. If you are, an Insights, benchmarking and analysis subscriber, exactly what I showed you. And if you don't have Insights BNA, you basically don't see the numbers, but you see the indication if the value for all 3 percentile of CNCI and journal normalized citation impact, if it's above or under average. And then there was a question which I get to answer in the last few minutes. I actually answered live. And the question was, okay, you just showed us this panel at the article level. is it possible to obtain these metrics for a whole body of work, for the whole results set, or for one institution, or for an author? And I said yes. But in that case, you need to have a subscription to Insights, because the further that I can push, Web of Science here is when I have these results, reduce them to 10,000 so I can run a citation report. But a citation report, just tells me pretty much, if we do it, let's just quickly do it for one of these. If I just do it for, say, even the early access, just to have something that is under 10,000. If I run a citation report here, what this gives you, it is an analytical tool. It gives you, for this publication, how much they were cited with and without self-citations. Here, so these are the time cited and the citing article that you can then, further analyze, but it doesn't tell you these peer, benchmarking metrics. So how would you get that if you had Insights? So if you had Insights, the way that you would do that is you would, I'm going to go and log into to that, and we go and close these notifications so I can click into the link. So you go into product because it's still part of the same, environment. We'll go into product and go on Insights, benchmarking and analytics. I'm very happy that I get to show you this and you can see it, despite the issues that we had with WebEx at the beginning. And so here, yes, so Alison, you asked this question. Here is Insights, basically is the analytical lens. The source data is Web of Science. And what you would do is you would go into here into analyze and see. You can do it for apply all the metrics and look at comparisons, benchmarking for researchers, organization, department, research area, funding agencies as well, and publication sources. That's how it would work. Let's just do it right away. Say for an organization, the data slide that you get with an Insight subscription is from 1980 through to current. This is updated once a month with data from Web of Science, so with new publications and citations to them. And here, you have a whole suite of metrics. They go well beyond, the time cited that you saw in the Web of Science. So, for example, if we wanted to look at, say, the last, or years even, from 1980 or even the last 5 years, we can just do the last 5 years. For, say, one institution, I'm just going to put one here, close to. Maybe instead of putting, then I can just focus this California. I'm just going to put here. Let's just put one of this quotes here. There's academic institution, there's government labs, and there's also corporations as well. So it's not just limited to the California system. If I select, say, this university here, update the results. I just want to show you, answering your question. So this would be basically all the papers, the 290 papers that they've published in the last 5 years, including emerging source citation index papers, and then all the metrics that you can look at. I'm going to show you how many indicators there are in Insights. All this list is all the indicators that you can look at, including how many documents they have in quartile 1 journal. These are JCR metrics. And then as you keep going down, there's impact metrics. So percentage of documents cited, journal, normalized citation impact and all that. Citation from patents, and then it's collaboration metrics. So it's a very, very vast list of metrics. And yes, here you see for the whole body of work, the way that you can do it, you can click into the documents and then see for each document, you see all the metrics. So you want to look at the, here is the CNCI for each and the journal right here. Yes, the question is, are AAU indicators available? Yes, absolutely yes. The way that you would do it is AAU is obviously a grouping, of colleges, So what you would do here is of university, you would go into association. You could actually just make, if you wanted to say compare, this call, with say the other AAU members, or you wanted to compare yourself with the AAU members so that you can measure, where you are, where you rank against them, either across the board across all field or within a particular field. All you have to do is select association. And then if I type here there you go, North American here, AAU right there. I can just add the results. Okay, here's it's telling me to here close. Yeah, because that's what you would have to do is you have to then go and select. You have to go and select AAU first, and then add your school. And then hold on, let's just do it this way. And then there you go. So you have, you can either create, a group for the AAU in general, and then add your score, and then you can by selecting it here, then you can make comparisons. And the beauty of benchmarking in schools together is that not only you have all these metrics, but say you want to look at AAU and say, let's just take for the sake of time, you just want to have these, you can either pin them to the top at the bottom. Or what you can also do is you can go into, see, here is a pin to the top, or you can even create a group and say my peer group or my aspiring, comparison peer group. And then you go into visual, and then you can actually just translate these numbers into some graphic, all you're choosing to help you tell your story. Your story may be necessary through the data if you want to apply for a grant, if you want to, with the research office, just showcase, which of your department is particularly strong. Or the way you would do that is at the moment, this is here, this is sorted by CNCI. Right? So which is a really good metric to be able to sort the schools. I didn't select any particular research area, so this is across the board, which is very important because, as we said in the beginning, citation behavior can be different and really varies. 300 citation in mathematics is not the same as 300 citation in medicine. So being able to benchmark and normalize is very important. But what would happen, when schools have a different focus, so this is where this is really, really helpful. And then as a visual, you can go and select what you want and say, you can either have multiple indicators, or you can have for the specific schools. Let me just show you for the different visualization. I could have this particular graph, and then here add, I'm just going to do just 3 or 4 schools because otherwise this graph is getting, but you can have up to 25 schools, represented in your graph. I'm just going to do 3. And you can include, of course, your group and and the AAU as well, she's included right here. And then now we are benchmarking the MIT and Stanford and the AAU in terms of their impact. So this is obviously the group together, right? As a group in general. You can then say, okay, but I'm interested in engineering, if it's MIT, or I'm interested in, something else. So you can select the web of science categories, or depending on where you are, around the world, we also provide different schemas that directly match government rankings. So, in the UK, for example, there is, a specific schema also that people tend to use, for reporting. This is listed here. Here, the ref and the RAE, as well as, if you also want to use, for example, citation topics as well, which is more of a specific, categorization that is a lot more granular than the broader, web of science area that, come directly from the classification of the journals and the publishers. And you could do that too, and you can select them. And this is us. Citation topics were developed by Clarivate, Web of Science, and then the Leiden Institute for Science and Engineering in the Netherlands. So, but let's just say that we do web of science and we just put engineering. For example, we just do chemical engineering and we update the results. This is going to update the graph on the fly. There you go. And then once you're done, with this, you can add it to a report. You can share everything onto your dashboard. And then from there, you can collaborate with other colleagues. And everything that I've showed you here in Insights, you can do it for every paper that belongs to an author or a group of your authors. You can do it for a research area, or you could just simply say, if I go back to the school, on its own, you can even say, show me, for say, a particular institution. I need to come out of the comparison, so let me just delete this, and then I'm going to stop here, go back into the chat because I know I need to wrap and I want to be respectful of your time, but I wanted to stay on a few more minutes because we had all those issues in the beginning. Okay, so I'm clearing here my filters. If I put in, say again, Stanford, the schools that we were looking at, university, and update results. Okay, what you can do as well here, let me also remove the association. Okay, great. What you can do once you're in Stanford is you can refocus your view and you can say, show me all the organizations that are collaborating with Stanford, or show me the research areas that Stanford's published in, or even the funding agency that have funded all the papers by Stanford over the past few years. So there's a lot that really can be done. I'm just going to show you the collaboration one. And then I think we'll wrap, this there. So if we want to look at bring up the collaboration for Stanford, I'm going to go click on go. So you see what this is loading. You see how you go from Web of Science, which is purely, so it's a discovery platform that helps you assess the landscape, of how much literature has been published, around the topic by an institution, by authors, and when you look at who is citing it, you can gauge, where that innovation is going, where the development is going. But when it comes to then, really running bibliometric analysis, we give you a preview in a Web of Science to help you gauge at the article level the citation counts. But then if you want to do further analysis, then yeah, you need to come here. And here, I have brought up all the collaborating institutions that collaborate with Stanford. So then again, similar thing, what you can do then, you go into visual, and then this is going to allow you to map out the collaborations there for Stanford. So if we say that we want, there you go, we want to see the top 10 by CNCI, then we can do that. There you go. And see, now they're sorted by the impact that each of these collaborations are doing. So you can filter out just show academia with academia, or you can say here, show me corporate only, because I want to see Stanford collaborating with industry instead of academia, and it's going to show you now all of that. So having said that, let me go back to the chat and see if there's any additional questions.